Guys, welcome back to the Late Fire Starter. That's me. Yep. It's good to see you. Thanks. So anyways, I just wanted to basically do my Saturday real estate investment video. I do have some real estate investment on my portfolio, my journey coming up, but I'm waiting for it to finalize. Because one thing you'll learn in real estate investment, anything could happen. You think you got a deal, boom, it's gone. You think you put in an offer and they accepted it and all of a sudden they back off. You're selling something, someone signs a purchase agreement, all that stuff. So that is sort of a mini lesson in this video is I am not going to share this news until it's actually final. Either way, meaning I close the deal or the deal falls apart, you'll hear about it. So that'll probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, be next week, next Saturday's video. Today, I just wanted to give you a quick one on the idea of investing in condos. A lot of real estate investors do not want to invest in condos. They will say it's a bad idea. Some love single-family homes. Others love small multi-families, whether it's a duplex, a triplex, or a quad. The reason people like these are for different reasons, but there's some overlap. All real estate investors love the tax breaks. All real estate investors love the appreciation. All real estate investors love the cash flow. All real estate investors love the principal pay down. All real estate investors love the cheap free money that people keep giving us at such a low percent that it's actually better to have a loan than to keep your money in the bank and lose it to inflation. There are so many reasons to invest in real estate that really benefit you. But then the question is, how do you do it? Do you house hack? Do you flip? Do you hold? Do you do big commercial properties? Do you do single family homes? There's so many different ways to go. And those who are smart or know better will tell you, those who are honest will tell you, here's what I do, but you can do well in any of these spaces. And the traditional wisdom is to pick a space and just focus on it. Other people like to climb. I'm gonna buy a bunch of single family homes, they all appreciate, I get the principal pay down, and all of a sudden I sell them all and I buy now a commercial building. Those who are in commercial love commercial. Those who are in single families, maybe they swear by that. There's a lot more die-hard commercial people than anything else though, from what I've found. There are people in commercial say that's the only way to go. Those people not in commercial will then amongst themselves talk about, do you want multifamily or single family, and the pros and cons of that. And then all of them will generally look down upon investing in condos. Why? People want control. People want to own their own property and do their own thing. They don't want to be beholden to an HOA. They do not want anyone else telling them what they can or cannot do. And there's a general maybe thought process out there that condos are harder to rent, which is, depending on the city, is not true at all. So there's definitely just some stigma with the condos. My first investment was a condo, and I love investing in condos. I say that even though I've only got one condo, but I would never hesitate to invest in condos. Why? Because when it comes to real estate investment, the ultimate goal is to have everything automated, is to have everything predictable, and it's to have everything working. The obvious things that I'm talking about are that you have your tenants in place and they're paying rent. If you have your places filled and they're paying rents, then everything else falls into place for the most part. You can, however, have everything perfect. You've got a great property manager or you're self-managing. You've got your units rented out. They are paying every month like clockwork. There's no major issues. And then a big rain comes and there's a roof leak. So all of a sudden you have a $5,000 to $10,000 expense possibly that came out of nowhere that you didn't know when it was gonna come. Now a good real estate investor is gonna know that that is coming. Every real estate investor who's worth their licking gold is gonna say, I don't even know what that means, licking gold. Anyways, any real estate investor who's smart is going to know that, hey, at some point I'm gonna have to replace the roof. And so they're setting aside reserves for those big expenses. We call those CapX expenses. Those are capital expenditures, meaning it's taking a lot of my capital to expend on these chores. No, it just basically means the big, large items that are not ongoing. Repairs are things that come up that are not expected. Cap expenses are expected. They are expected to cost you money at some point. You know you're going to have to replace the roof. You know you're going to have to replace that water heater. You know you're going to have to replace the furnace. There are things that just wear out over time that you know at some point you're going to have to replace. You don't know if a pipe is going to leak. You don't know that. That's a repair. You don't know if a toilet's gonna break. One toilet may last 20 years, another one may break after 2. You don't know those, but you know stuff's gonna happen. So you plan for repairs, and you also plan for CapEx. When that big CapEx expense is gonna come, you don't know. I also have duplexes, and duplexes, I have one single water meter, so I have to pay the water and sewer. And one tenant's water bill is not equal to another tenant's water bill. So when I'm doing the math, it's hard for me to predict the numbers. Is this unit going to cost me $150 a month in water or $50 a month in water? That $100 difference makes a huge difference in your calculations. If I'm only going to cash flow $150 and all of a sudden I'm paying $100 more for water and sewer than I had planned, and my cash flow is down 50, my room for error is just shrunk tremendously. What I love about condos is just this one thing. It's predictability. With my condo, I have an HOA fee. That HOA fee is locked in. It is fixed. And so I have a fixed expense that I know. My eyes are wide open. Yes, of course, things could happen. You could have assessments, and you could have an increase in your HOA payments. Those things can happen. But usually, you have fair warning. Those are coming long distance out. And if it's an increase in your ongoing HOA, it's usually not a huge jump. But with that HOA fee, my water is covered. So my tenant pays their own electricity and gas and all that stuff like any other unit out there. But at apartment buildings, multifamily of any kind, you're normally paying the water bill. So I'm paying the water bill, but it's a fixed cost. If my tenant uses a ton of water one month and no water the next, it doesn't matter. My costs are fixed, and I love that. I love that I don't have to be getting a huge surprise bill. I get a roof leak, you know what? My HOA's fees that I pay every month, that's going into paying for a roof leak. That's going into paying for a roof replacement. That's going into paying for, you know what even? I had to have my balcony replaced. So there are big CapEx expenses that my HOA fee is covering for me. And so instead of a $5,000 or $10,000 expense coming down on me all at once, I'm paying my $300 every month. And when that expense comes, it's covered. That may not make everyone super excited, and maybe people don't like condos for other reasons. But at the end of the day, it's not hard to find renters. You could get good rent. The main, and really only one point to this video is condos are a great investment because your predictability of your numbers is a lot more under your control. You have a lot less variance in what could happen to your cash flow and to your expenses. I obviously don't exclusively invest in condos, but I'm not afraid to invest in condos because there are pros and cons for every different type of property. The best pro I can share with you about investing in condos is that stress level is down because the surprises are down. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, even seen me or heard about me, if somehow YouTube introduced you to me, the late fire starter, it just comes from the fact that I started my fire journey late. What the heck is a fire journey? A fire journey is a journey unto financial independence, FI, and retire early, RE, right? So fire. So I'm on a fire journey. There's a lot of people out in the world that are on their own fire journeys. Most people in the fire community talk about investing in index funds, and you do that very young, and you see your compounding interest over time. You get a big enough pot that you can start living off that pot indefinitely. That's the normal route. My route is different because I didn't start young. I started later in life. That I'm really doing this through dividend investing and through real estate investing. So I post a real estate investing video on Saturdays and I post a dividend investing video on Wednesdays. Sometimes one of those gets replaced with an advice video or a fire principle video, something like that in general. So those are my three main playlists at the moment. If you would be so kind, go ahead and hit that like button for me. That would be awesome. And if you'd like to follow along with my journey, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. Thanks so much. Have an amazing end of 2020. If you're watching this in 2021, who knows when you're watching this, but anyways, Happy New Year. Have a great year ahead. I'm the Late Fire Starter. I also have another channel called The Cheap Guy, which I'll link below. Go check out that guy as well. He's there to save you money. This guy's here to show you a journey on how to get to fire. Thanks so much.